Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently working on getting Mapuche colonized. That will take a little while, of course, and we're letting our infamy drop here. Our infamy is quite high at this point. We probably don't want to go after Chile just yet, but we will. We definitely will. Out of curiosity, if we demanded this, would they accept it? No, they would not, and we would expect that Bolivia would actually side with Chile on that, which is interesting because they're our subject. That would not necessarily be good. Their liberty desire is also extraordinarily high. So this would be a diplomatic incident that would give 27.7 infamy to us. We definitely don't want to invoke that right now. So what is going on with this? So economic dependence on Overlord currently is entangled. So if we were to invest more in them, it would be owned by us? Okay, I see. We could definitely work on that. So friendly relations, infamy, huh? Okay, so infamy is a lot of this. We want to let our infamy drop. Relative prestige modifier, sure. So invest in Bolivia is the answer. We can do that. Boom. Okay. So that should be done relatively quickly, in theory. I do want to get this railway done first. It will be inefficient construction across the board, but overall, I think this would be pretty decent. We'll definitely get some of that going. And then we've got police brutality here, huh? The use of force is definitely warranted. So Chile is damaging relations, hilarious, and we're currently at minus 10k in terms of our deficit right now. That is because we only have one private construction ongoing at this time. That's fine. I'm not too concerned about that right now. Now, for the new Colossus, we need total separate... Actually, we don't need that. We need multiculturalism and no migration controls and bringing up our standard of living. That's an interesting way to go, for sure. We are currently on migration controls. We'd rather go up to here. The industrialists would endorse it, but we don't have a chance to pass it right now. So we can't do that at this moment. What else did we need for that? We needed multiculturalism. Right. So multiculturalism is also something that we don't have a way to get to. We need to invent human rights first. So let's take a look in society here. Human rights is right here. So we would need to have invented egalitarianism first. We can do that after steel frame buildings. So that'll be okay. Egalitarianism into human rights sounds reasonably good. That'll give us access to some things anyway. Cool. Now we don't have a very large amount of research, right? We're below our innovation cap. We may want to do something about that. I'm going to look to do that potentially after we finish all of this investment. So, right, we've got this railway here and this railway here. Yeah, we'll wait on that. That seems okay. So for now, that is fine. We've got these 3 transportation input goods shortages. That's not surprising in the slightest. So that is okay. For the time being, this is looking good. We're going to get these gold mines finished up because, of course, we want gold. We want additional minting. The French Legitimist Revolt. Okay, then. Cool. So that seems absolutely fine. We do definitely want to work on Bolivia, and the biggest problem with Bolivia here is our infamy. I think that'll go down when we drop below, I want to say 25? I think 25 is infamous. So that'll be fine. We're going to continue to work that down for the time being. We're going to get a motor industry in Lima going soon enough. We're at 72% on that. Okay, that's actually going right now. Or actually, this is a livestock ranch, but that's okay. So we're now positive when we've got private constructions ongoing. That sounds good. We're going to get this gold mine done. We're 30 weeks away from our railway in Brazilian Jujuy. This is really not great in terms of its construction efficiency. And I'm actually thinking maybe we move this down to be below here, because it'll be more incorporated by the time we get there. Interesting. North German people are migrating. I hit escape there, but North German people are migrating to our territory. That's a very good thing. We're happy about that one. So that looks good. And at this point, we're working on gold mines pretty much exclusively. I want to get these gold mines built in Bolivia because I want to increase our economic entanglement. You can see here we're still at infamous 25.8. That is going down by 1.04 per week. So that's, or rather 0.104. That's absolutely fine. We're about 7 weeks away from dropping below 25 infamy. So that sounds phenomenal. We are, of course, going to get these gold mines built in Bolivia, and that is a very high priority. As soon as we get the gold mines built, that will boost up our income a little bit. How much are we paying in interest right now? 8.63k? Sure. We're not really in a position to expand our construction anymore, but for the moment, I think this is fine. Our expansion is going to come from steel frame buildings, and that's going to be expensive. We're going to want to probably prepare some additional steel mills before that comes in, but we'll get there. So the construction efficiency here is actually positive, so that's good. General staff was just unlocked, so that gives us production methods for our barracks, and we should also probably work through our mobilization. So that means that we can go, in theory, to extra supplies. And we have to have basic supplies activated. Okay. Do we want chocolate? Well, that's additional sugar input. That's maybe not a bad thing. This is tobacco input, and this is liquor input. Okay. So this is a morale recovery. I'm not too concerned about that. But we can absolutely go to rail transport. And that sounds good. And then first aid. So I think that's what we're going to do across the board here. This is going to increase our cost fairly significantly. But let's see what that does to our production. So something along the lines of that. Okay. And a lot of that will be when mobilizing as well. So that'll take some time to figure out what that actually is going to do. This number here is fake. Ignore it. Actually, it might not be. We just started up a banana plantation. Banana plantations, what exactly do they produce? Hang on. Agriculture, banana plantations. They produce fruit. Okay, fair enough. That'll be absolutely fine. We are actually running a small surplus right now, which is good. And now we're not, but we just finished up one of those banana plantations, so this number is going to go pretty negative here. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Postal savings has been unlocked, so farmers and shopkeepers are now investing more in the investment pool. That's good. We do need more investment pool going on, so that will be absolutely wonderful. So our gold mines are building relatively quickly at this point, and that's delightful. We're now down below that infamy, and we can see that the Liberty Desire here is going down now, incredibly slowly, but it is going down. So 0.13 from economic dependence on Overlord, this is improved, and overall this has improved quite a lot. Excellent. So this is mostly, I think, because we're owning more of their GDP as we're finishing up these gold mines. That's good. We want that. So that sounds good. We are, of course, currently having our GDP, it's a little iffy. It's definitely a little iffy. Grain is currently expensive, and we still have some low standards of living in a number of locations. Particularly places like this. It's really grim over here. So if we take a look here, we have insignificant unemployment over this way. Okay. So why is their standard of living so low? Taxes. Mostly poll taxes. Okay. So poll taxes are definitely a thing. We're on per capita taxation. I would like to move to proportional or graduated taxation. We require socialism and egalitarianism for those. So we're going to be working on egalitarianism after steel frame buildings, so that will help us work on that. So I think that's okay. An ammunition input goods shortage, really? That's interesting. So let's hop over to our munitions plants here and take a look at Minas Gerais. Yeah, we just need to employ people. It's fine. It'll be okay. All of the employees just got poached. But the price spiked, and so now we can afford to pay more, and now we can hire employees, and now we can make ammunition, and now there's no problem. So it is absolutely fine. Cool. So we're making very good progress on these gold mines. They're all going to be done very shortly. 11 weeks. So that looks great. 53 weeks on our railway in Brazilian Jujuy. So no problem whatsoever there. Now we're down to 22 infamy. I absolutely want to let this continue to drift downward for the moment. And our Brazilian naval power is looking good still. So that's no problem. So what we really want is to get Bolivia, like, reduced, right? We want to get Bolivia into a much, much better position here. They're in high liberty desire, and it is going down incredibly, incredibly slowly. Indeed. Relative prestige above 1.5x multiplier. This is barely doing anything. Regressivist party. And they have minus 25% momentum. Amazing. It's literally just the armed forces. Okay. Abraham Lincoln held a patriotic speech in one of Rio de Janeiro's parks. Amazing. I think... What's our current... We're in right of assembly? Would we be able to get protected speech? No, we don't have human rights. Okay, so we'll just take the momentum for the Liberal Party. That'll be fine. And at this point, we're going to take upper strata radicalism. That'll do. Cool. So our gold mine in Jujuy is going to be done in 2 weeks. We just get a large amount of investment in Bolivia's GDP. And that should, in theory, be bringing up our ownership of their GDP. So it is 13.2% of Bolivian GDP owned by us. Noted. So if we check in over here, we own their gold mines at this point, but they're not actually employing anyone in the gold mines. Yeah, they just don't have people there. That's understood. So that is reasonably fine. We are going to... Is this private construction in Bolivia? It is. Okay, private construction is building in Bolivia. So that seems good. We're going to get these barracks done nice and quickly. In fact, I'm going to drop this railway down all the way to the bottom here. These are going to continue to be relatively low efficiency, but they have improved by quite a lot. The turmoil has dropped a fair amount, so that looks good. Overly enthusiastic partisans, huh? We'll let them continue. They can be enthusiastic. They're not hurting anybody except for the people that they're hurting. You know, normal things. So we have 164 bureaucracy at this point. And the question is, do we have an institution to work up with that? The answer is no, we do not. So that is understood. There's not too much in terms of law changes that we can do right now. We really need some technologies, and we're going to get there. So we want to build ourselves some universities. Now, in theory, each of these produces 2 innovations. And if we go in here, or rather in here, we can see our innovation cap is currently 131.3, and we currently make 76.6. That leaves 54.5 on the table. So if we divide that number by 2, of course, that means that we need 28 universities to cap this out. That's a lot of universities. What is our economy of scale cap? 30. Okay, so we could do a bunch in, like, Lima. We could bring this up to 26 and then build, like, 2 in Rio de Janeiro. Or we could spread it out a little bit more than that and build like 14 in each. Or bring this up to like a level of 10 or something. So this would be here. And then we would put in 9 here. This is going to be missing out on some economy of scale, right? But that brings us up to 10 each there. That is a grand total of 15, 23. So we would need like 5 more. Which means that that would do it. So something along the lines of that. Now, I don't want to do those before we get all of this done. The universities are going to be relatively low priority, but they will build fairly quickly-ish. So we'll get that going. That'll be fine. That will help us boost our innovations significantly. So that's good. Once we get that all done, well, I mean, that'll get started very soon, actually. Our barracks are basically completed. The railway is basically completed as well. We do have some transportation shortages, and that does take priority over the university constructions. It's going to take a while to get those universities done. Momentum to the Minas Republican Party. Okay. What are we at here? 77.7 for the Liberal Republican Party. Noted. Okay. So, we're building only universities at this time. Transportation shortages in 2 locations. I do want to get those railways done, so let's check in Santa Fe. We have 1 queued, allegedly? I don't think that's true. Maybe it's in the private construction queue somewhere, but we should get that going. And then we also have a transportation shortage here. Similarly, we'll get that going. Okay, so that'll be fine, and this is minus 23.3, and this is minus 32.8. Okay. That's going to take a while, and maybe we do something like this. Maybe even, like, 5 universities, and then the railway. Because that should be similar-ish to when this railway is finishing, in theory. We'll see how I estimated that, but for now, that'll be fine. So we're down to 19 infamy at this point. If we check in at Bolivia here, it is going down by 0.01. That is incredibly slowly. Economic dependence on Overlord is coming up here, so that is good. We're very happy about that. I assume they're in our market, right? Yeah, they're definitely in our market. We had the election 78%. We're a righteous government 100, so that seems perfect. We could even remove the rural folk if we wanted to. Do we want to? I don't know that we do. I think it's fine. We could also put the industrialists in power. That would actually be very interesting. Put the industrialists and the intelligentsia in power, and we'd still sit at 100 righteous. Let's do that. That might give us some interesting law change options, like free trade. Now, this is going to radicalize the trade unions, which isn't shocking. But we would potentially be able to get... I mean, we're on National Guard right now. We could go down to guaranteed liberties. I'm not sure that we want to do that, though. We're on census suffrage right now, which seems good. We could go to laissez-faire. That wouldn't radicalize anyone. But that would be a lot of private construction allocation. Our main problem with private construction isn't actually private construction allocation, though. So that's probably not an issue, actually. The big important thing would be we'd be able to go to free trade. That would cost us revenue, and of course, we'd have some angry people. Let's see what this opens up a little later on. So this is fine for now, and we're going to be getting these universities online. You can see here we're constructing 4 buildings, but only 1 in private construction. Our investment pool is the slowing factor in the private construction. It's not the construction allocation, or rather allocation, I should say. So the argument there is allocating more private construction resources wouldn't do anything because it's limited by the investment pool. So we'd be in the exact same situation. So it's not really beneficial, necessarily. Until the investment pool grows. When the investment pool is growing a lot faster, then it would be. To be clear. But let's get working on these universities. We're 3 years away, assuming we don't add any more things here. Hang on. There's a barracks in Minas Gerais, a railway in these 2 locations, which I already queued up. Both of them said they had one. I thought it was a bug, but no, they're at the bottom of the queue. Okay, that's fine. They must have been hidden on another page. What do we got going on over here? Oh, they're fighting Chile. I wonder if they'll win against Chile. They won against Argentina. Chile, what do you got? They probably won't. So our trade route here is inactive. We can get rid of those 2 trade routes. Sounds good. So that all looks good for right now. We're working on this railway. That'll be done in 23 weeks. And we've got a number of universities behind that, and then our railway in Santa Fe. That's down to minus 22 construction efficiency, so it's definitely improving. No doubt about that. The turmoil here is creeping downward, and actually our standard of living has come up a decent amount, so that's looking good. And yeah, these are just the 2 locations of the transportation shortages, so that looks absolutely fine. I'm wondering about our university production methods right now. What are they? Oh, and we can change our barracks over to general training, which we probably should do. And we can do the same with our conscription centers. So that seems fine. Bolivia has sided with Chile. Okay, very awkward. We can go to steam donkeys for logging camps, which I'm going to do. That'll cause some potential issues. We'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so I wanted to look at universities. We're on secular academia and scholastic education. Okay. We're probably going to have some paper issues, to be clear. With all of these universities being built, I would expect paper issues. But we'll keep an eye on that. Actually, let's take a quick look at our paper production. We are queuing one up in La Paz. Yeah, private paper construction, so that's not bad. Current price is not bad either. And with that expansion, I think we'll be okay. I mean, we might want more paper mills, but for now, I think this is absolutely fine. So I'm a little surprised that these guys are actually fighting here. I mean, they're going to lose, for sure. So Chile is going to get colonization rights in Mapuche, and the question is, does that mean that we have to make a move on Chile? It might. We'll keep an eye on that. We're not really ready to make any moves. Our infamy is still a bit up there. We'll just let that continue to head down for the moment. Overall, we're in a pretty solid spot here. We are working down our debt a little bit, but I think overall our debt has been increasing. Great Britain colonized British Buenos Aires. Britain, what are you doing? Can you not? I would like it if you didn't. Okay. So what that means is that we need to work up our colonization speed. We're on it. Britain, you're being a jerk. Very rude of you. Very, very rude. I really wish Britain didn't do this, but alas. There's not much we can do about it, for now anyway. We'll keep an eye on Britain, but of course they're wildly more powerful than we are right now. We might get an opportunity to do something about it, in which case we would look to kick them out of South America, taking certainly this area, maybe these up here, but we're not really in a position for that right now. We'll see if that ends up happening. Our railway is finishing. That is very good. And we're now working exclusively on universities. Okay, let's get this second railway done. That'll be fine. Cool. So if we look in here, we can see we're now generating 81.6 each week. This number is going to be, we're going to overshoot the number. We're going to be overcapping. That's okay. We definitely want to do that. So that's fine. And the next question is, of course, what is being exposed here? Dialectics? I mean, that's pretty decent. In the military tree, what is being exposed? Okay, Britain is guaranteeing our independence. That's cool. Hydraulic cranes? Sure. Out over this direction, it is vacuum canning. Okay. All of that is reasonable. It's not phenomenal, but it's reasonable. Okay, so we've only got the one transportation shortage at this time. That looks good. And we do have some standard of living issues. No doubt about that. But we are working on it. We're getting our education up, and we're getting these universities built at long last. I usually like to do this a little earlier, but our economy was in quite a lot of shambles early on. We basically started the game with no economy. So there's that. You can see Britain is colonizing quite quickly down here, and that's the concern. We're working on bringing up our colonial growth speed, but we'll see how much we're able to get from Britain. We can get some, for sure. We can stop them from getting some of this, and that's what we're interested in doing. Some is better than none. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to work through some of these universities. No doubt about that. Apparently in Lima, things are still a little bit rough out over here, but it is definitely a lot better. So that is looking good. You can leave your offerings to the engage... Oh, the USA is back. It's no longer the United Scientific, what was it? Whatever it was. It's no longer that. Interesting. As I was saying, you can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, association. It was the United Scientific Association. Okay, now I've interrupted myself. Fantastic. Likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible. Including, now I'm a little late on this, fantastic, ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.